The Arcane Mage is one of the easiest casters in the game with a 4-button rotation, and before, people thought it sucked. Not anymore! Because we just got today more balance changes. 28% buff, 37%, 30%. That's right, we're gonna do more damage overall, and now Arcane, which is my favorite mage spec, is one of the most tempting classes to play. Okay, so this is how you play the Arcane Mage. First of all, we're gonna be taking Ice Flows. We can just cast it and move while casting, so yes, you can move while casting a lot. For any other spec, it wouldn't be a big problem. You could just get Blazing Speed or something, but for Arcane, we absolutely need this, because we do not have a lot of instant spells or anything that allows us to move, so without Ice Flows, you would not be allowed to move. Then we're gonna be taking Temporal Shield. It is like a mini ice block, but it is by far the best defensive cooldown you can get. We are also gonna take the Ring of Frost. It is just an AoE root. It is kinda like a longer lasting Frost Nova. It is kinda weird to say. You drop it and like everything that walks to it is gonna get Frost Nova. Absolutely crucial for handling adds. This is one of the main reasons that mages are so useful. Then we're gonna be taking Cauterize. If you get killed, you're gonna come back. It is kinda like Ardent Defender back in TBC, so it is even more defensive on top of everything. It even allows you to cheese some fights. There are some mechanics that will one-shot you, and you can aggressively walk in and die anyway to do more damage. That's a thing. Of course, then we're gonna take Living Bomb, the best AoE in the game. It is also extremely useful for cleaving damage. Sadly, the Arcane Mage baseline is very weak in AoE, and this is just gonna put us to like an acceptable level, but we are not crazy at AoE, sadly. Arcane is very much a single target spec. And finally, we're gonna be taking Rune of Power. It is 15% more damage, and it is 75% of your mana. I don't think I have to explain to you why that's so good. We are gonna take the Glyph of Arcane Power, then we're gonna take the Glyph of Rapid Displacement. Oh my god, that's a hard one. It's just 2 blinks. Mobility in MoP is damage, okay? Mobility is important. Double blink. And finally, the Glyph of Cone of Cold for more damage. There is nothing really good here. At least for Arcane, there is nothing crazy, so yeah. I guess you could take the Glyph of Armors. It is also not great. And finally, we have one actually important minor glyph. Glyph of Mirror Image is gonna make it so your mirror images will do Arcane Blast instead of Frostbolt. It shouldn't be a lot of damage that you gain, but it is some damage, and that's better than any other freaking glyph, because everything else is useless. Very well, your stat priority is pretty standard for any mage. You're gonna take Intellect over everything else. Of course, Intellect is a base stat and you cannot reforce for it. Next is gonna be your hit cap of 15%, and after that we're going for Mastery. Mastery is a flat damage bonus depending on how much mana you have, and as you guys know, the Arcane Mage is constantly generating and dumping mana, so that's a huge part of your gameplay, and it will give you a lot of damage. That is also the reason that we take so much Intellect. We wanna get that mana. After that is gonna come Haste. Haste is not a huge deal, honestly. There is no actual cap you're going for, but it will help. You're cranking, you know, if you crank faster, that's damage. And after that is gonna come Critical Strike. Arcane, unlike Fire or Frost, doesn't proc anything with crit, so crit is just a flat amount of damage that you get, and most likely Haste is gonna be better in most scenarios. You can try Reforce Light, the add-on. I got a link in the Discord to check it out. It helps you make up, because there is an eventual breaking point where crit becomes more important than haste. It will not happen in Mogush and Bolts. It will happen probably by Thunder Throne. I wouldn't worry about it. Like rule of thumb, haste is always better than crit. Either way, the second we get our hit cap, we're gonna reforce everything into Mastery. Now, your rotation is so easy. First of all, you gotta place a Rune of Power right where you're gonna stand. So if you're gonna move, you should actually drop a Rune of Power where you're gonna go. And yes, the Arcane Mage is one of those classes that really benefits from learning a fight. If you know where you are gonna go later, you can actually plan for it, and it makes it a lot easier. You wanna have a Rune of Power on top of you at all times, because mana regen, we saw the Mastery, the more mana we got, the more boom boom, and on top of that, it is a 15% flat rate of boom boom, and who could hate on that? So we wanna have it on us at all times. It is a 1.5 second cast. That kinda sucks, but it is not so bad. Let me tell you, it is always pretty much worth it. Even if you sacrifice some spells that you could throw, it is pretty much every single time worth it, so that's why it's at the top of the priority. Then we are gonna put Living Bomb on the target as a dot, and yes, that's very cool if you are doing like a cleave or if there is ads or whatever, because it's gonna blow at some point and that's damage. But even single target Living Bomb is really good. Now I am gonna leave a Wikora in the Discord for Arcane Missiles. You get a chance to get free Arcane Missiles on a proc. The Wikora is just gonna tell you that. I am also gonna leave another Wikora to keep track of your Arcane charges, because you only want to take advantage of a free Arcane Missile proc when you have 4, hence the 2 Wikoras that you need. But in the case that you have 4 stacks and you do not have a proc, it can happen sometimes, it is not very often, but it can happen. You can do instead with 4 charges Arcane Barrage. Remember, we are gonna do missiles if we got the proc every single time. This is just a worst case scenario actually, and as a filler we're gonna be doing Arcane Blast. That's how we get the charges and that's how we get the procs. Arcane Blast is gonna consume an absolutely stupid amount of mana, and that's why we need the Rune of Power to give us that mana back, or we are gonna be in serious trouble. But that's just pretty much it. We do Arcane Blast until we get 4 charges and then we blow them on missiles, rinse, repeat. Pretty freaking simple, pretty freaking awesome. Now for AoE, we're gonna do Living Bomb, of course, always Living Bomb. Then we are gonna do Cone of Cold on cooldown. After that, if we got 4 charges, we're gonna do Arcane Barrage, because Arcane Barrage will hit multiple targets the more charges you got. And after that, we're gonna get those charges with Arcane Explosion. The Arcane Mage kinda peaks at 4 targets, relatively compared to other classes. Total AoE is not very good, and then like 2 or 3 target is also not very good. But 4 targets, they do pretty decent damage. Now, the Arcane Mage only has 3 important cooldowns. Of course, Time Warp, that's also one of them, like the free Bloodlust. If you gotta pop Bloodlust, you have it, I guess. You got a Mirror Image, they just spam Arcane Blast. It's like a 3 ghosts that do Arcane Blast. It is not a lot of damage, but it is some damage, and you wanna pop it along Bloodlust, because it is the most value. Then we have Arcane Power. Arcane Power is 20% more damage. Now, because of the glyph we took, the cooldown is gonna be 3 minutes actually, because it's gonna last twice as long, for 30 seconds. Usually what you do is you pop it at the start of the fight, and then 3 minutes later you wait for the Bloodlust to do it again for more value. And the last cooldown, which is very much designed for Arcane Mages, is Alter Time. Now this spell is actually kinda complicated to use, but it will basically take you back to the state you were 6 seconds ago. You can press it and go a little earlier, but you wanna do it 6 seconds later. And why is this important? Well, you got 2 things as an Arcane Mage. First of all, you are gonna be blowing mana with Arcane Blast. Second, you have Arcane Power. And yes, if you pop Arcane Power and you wait 6 seconds and then you pop Alter Time, you're gonna go back 6 seconds. So in effect, Alter Time is gonna extend the duration of Arcane Power by another 6 seconds. You see what I'm talking about? So yes, you should do Alter Time at least 6 seconds after you pop your Arcane Power. You can time them both at the same time and it will be synchronized. That's the most important part, extending your Arcane Power. But also, if you do 4 Arcane Blast in a row, you're gonna spend a lot of mana, right? And you can pop this again to get full mana. So that's yet another little value that you can get from Alter Time if you know how to time it. Do not worry about the Arcane Blast little trick early on, just worry about extending that Arcane Power. But yes, that's another little nifty trick you can do to squeeze a little more damage. Your meta gem is gonna be the Burning Primal Diamond for 3% boom boom. Your red gem is gonna be the Artful Vermilion Onyx, that is Intellect and Mastery, your 2 best stats in 1 gem. And then your yellow gem is gonna be the Fractured Sun's Radiance for more mastery. And your blue gem is gonna be the Sensei's Wild Jade. It is by far your best blue gem, so if you are over the hit cap, you are gonna have to reforge to make it fit. It is worth it. Your food is gonna be the Mogu Fish Stew for more intellect. Your flask is gonna be the Flask of the Warm Sun for more intellect. And your potion is gonna be the Potion of the Jade Serpent for more intellect. Knowledge is power. Overall, the Arcane Mage is actually something I am excited for. It got buffed now, so I am gonna give it a shot. I got a mage from vanilla that I should level. It is never gonna be at the top, but it is good and it is easy. And for most players, easy will do more damage than a good class. That's me. You can check out the Discord. I put a bunch of Wikoras for mages in the Mage channel. We are streaming almost every day on Twitch, doing Pandaria stuff before the launch and after the launch. And subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching!